Hi, welcome to Converging Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm taking a look at Studio Series 8601 Jazz. And I guess I was hoping I could do these in order, but they arrived at my house in a certain order. So after we looked at Hot Rod and now Scourge, we're taking a look at Jazz. And this is, I believe, the third generation's Jazz we've gotten. This is, in my mind, again, the most G1 accurate Jazz we've gotten. I love his stripes and his livery and all that. I dig that he's got his wheels painted. He's got his front painted pretty nicely here. This is that 86 design. Obviously, we got, feet kind of hanging out the back here, but it seems like, from most angles, pretty well hidden. Just kind of an odd fender on his back end. Other than that, he looks really good. From the front on, you can see, he's got those rear wheels that are out a little further than the front wheels. This is Jazz in every sense of the word. I really dig him. He's got good clearance. He rolls real well. For the mold, I really like this mold. I think in alt mode, out of the 86 Studio Series 86 figures that I've handled so far, this is my favorite. And it makes sense that it's Jazz because Jazz tends to be a mold that I really like. We're going to compare him. Here is Jazz next to my Fall of Cybertron Jazz. This is the current Jazz in my collection, and I'll get into kind of why that's the current Jazz in my collection in a little bit. Here he is next to a previous generation's Jazz. I guess this makes him the fourth one now that I think about it. Here is what was Power of the Primes Jazz, and now it's obviously Smoke Out. But those repro labels, you can still see the origins of the Jazz mold there. Here is Stepper next to all of them. Here's, the original generation's Jazz mold. So we can kind of see those lined up. Here is BotCon Ricochet, Shattered Glass Ricochet, which was, a repaint of a Shattered Glass Jazz. So there we go. And then here is Animated Jackpot, which is, again, the animated Jazz mold. I like the little car that Jazz is. That just, seeing them all lined up makes me happy. And as you can see, I like collecting Jazz molds without them being Jazz. And that'll get into a little bit later discussion about the figure. But yeah, so for Jazz, I think he is a great Jazz figure. We're going to pick him up and we'll start transforming him. Starting out, we just take off his gun. It looks nice. Again, silver paint. I appreciate that on the weapon. We can see, the little hole there for it. To transform him, we're going to pull out the side doors here. Then we can come in and separate his back rear wheels from his front body by moving out these arms and then flipping out, disconnecting this rear piece and flipping out these wheels like so. They just accordion out nicely. We can pull out his toesies and then separate his legs. And this is something that did kind of surprise me with the transformation. I was expecting a step here where we finish out his legs by flipping some panel in to make sure that we hide away the rear wheel, the rear leg. But that doesn't happen, which I thought was interesting because for the Studio Series figures, they seem to put a lot of effort into making sure that the robot mode looks good from every angle. But I guess they couldn't figure out a way to do it on Jazz here. We can flip out the wheels, and that brings his shoulders out. Flip down his hood, flipping up that back piece, and then pulling in this little chest piece, which flips down his whole front chest piece, giving us that classic Jazz hood chest, flipping up. If I can get around it. There, come on. So sometimes I struggle with the clearance on this head, and I gotta come in here and just look and see what he is colliding with. And, there we go. There's that Jazz head up. Flipping around our shoulders. Flipping out our hands. and then taking his doors, we can bring them in if we want, bringing this piece in as well, and then down, and giving him a nice little backpack here. And yeah, here is Studio Series 86 Jazz. And again, we have a good looking robot. I think out of the 86 figures that I've seen so far, I like him the best because he looks good as a robot, and in his, I think he looks good in his alt mode. His transformation's pretty good. My teeniest nitpick, I like that, you know, we got rid of these side doors. I like that that is clean on this version of Jazz. I kind of wish we filled in these back wheel pieces here, but to me it's not the end of the world. I like his proportions a lot. This again seems, you know, oh, you know what? I totally missed a step. I was wondering, I was like, something doesn't seem right. We're going to flip around his torso, and that lets us engage onto his torso. Ah, come on, man. Keep that head up. So with the torso flip, there's those two tabs there that we got to get these slots lined up there. And I wouldn't blame that on the figure. That was just me being dumb. But there, I was like, he seems slightly stooped. There we get his torso built out. But we have this awesomely proportioned Jazz in the collection. And I think he looked really good. I really like that head sculpt. I like that visor a lot. He's got good articulation in the neck. That's a simple ball joint. The shoulders aren't hindered in any way. Swivel on the bicep. 90-degree elbow. The wrist can't rotate, unfortunately. I kind of wish they started doing this was a hinge and then a mushroom peg to give us some wrist rotation. Legs can go in and out. The Van Damme goes that far, and then it gets in the way of his waist. Due to transformation, we do get waist swivel. And then because of his knees, because of the backs of his legs, his knees get real deep, which I do like that. To me, that's a fair trade. And then we get ankle tilt and toe tilt. So again, we can get nice dynamic poses on Jazz. I think he looks really, really good. And again, like, the paint looks really nice. I like the light blues. I like the silver paints picked out. I think he's just a great looking Jazz. And for other figures, Hot Rod, I was like, oh, he's a really good Hot Rod, but I just don't care about the 86 design of Hot Rod. For Jazz, I like this design. I think he's looking pretty good. And I think this is an easy recommendation. We'll set him up next to all his buddies. So again, here is the fall of Cybertron Jazz. And this is the Jazz in my current collection. You can see kind of how wibbly and wobbly he is. So that makes 86 Jazz a really, really tempting replacement for my current Jazz figure. Here we've got Stepper. If Stepper can stand, oh, I didn't flip out Stepper's heels, that's why. There we go. Smoke Out, just the Jazz crew. And then here's one I didn't show off in car mode, but there's a custom I made for Kickover. But yeah, he looks really good. Again, he's, the Studio Series 86 figures, he still feels like a deluxe. Like, Stepper, this original generation's Jazz mold was a giant. Jazz feels in line with the other Jazzes. So he feels like a deluxe. I think you're getting your value from the deluxe price point, whereas Hot Rod was surprising to me that he was a Voyager figure with how small he was. So Jazz at the deluxe price point, I think I easily recommend. For me, and this is, I don't know if I'm going to regret this or not. What I've heard is that Planet X is planning a release of their version of Fall of Cybertron Jazz. Planet X does amazing War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron designs. So I would like this design a lot, and I think this getting a better toy is super exciting to me. I'm going to hold out and replace this guy with the Fall of Cybertron Jazz. So what I'm hoping for 86 Jazz is that we get a Shattered Glass repaint in the near future, like they did for Earthrise, Prime, and Ratchet. I love Shattered Glass Tread Shot. I would love Shattered Glass Long Arms. Like, there have been Shattered Glass Jazz molds or repaints in the past that they could base him off of. I think that would be really exciting, and I hope to see one of those repaints in the future, because I'd love to own this guy in different colors. I like these colors, I like these jazz colors, but I'm holding out against hope for a Fall of Cybertron Jazz. So because of that, I'm going to be giving away the 86 Jazz and hoping that in the future generations gives us a repaint. I can't imagine they don't give us a repaint of some sort. It's just a really good robot mode that I'm sure Hasbro wants to make more money off of. But that's it. That is a look at Studio Series 86 Jazz. Like I mentioned, if you are interested in Jazz, in all my previous giveaway videos, all you have to do is mention, hey, I want to be in the giveaway, and I will get him bundled up and announce the winner during next week's video, next Tuesday's video, announce that winner, and then the winner can contact me, and I will get him out to you. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great day.